joining us now is the Spurs manager after that 1-0 win over Leicester. The man himself, the gaffer, Martin Ho. Hello, Martin.
Hi, how are you?
Fair play to you yesterday, another 3 points. Looking at that table, we're making it about Arsenal today and this kind of changing of the guard almost there at that club. But looking what you're doing with your players, the recruitment this January so far, you're in a very good place.
Yeah, we've just tried to change things slightly in terms of how we want to look, the identity of the club, how we can evolve the team in terms of where we was last season to where we are now. There has to be changes made. We knew that in terms of playing style, identity and framework. And we've just tried to allow ourselves a little bit of time to put things in place. And along the way, we've had some luck along the way, but I think we've had some really good performances.
Martin, talk to us about your identity and your sort of style of football. What is it that you want to bring to this Spurs side?
Probably with the ball, Ruesha, is a little bit more freedom with the ball, a little bit more flexibility and allowing the players to come out of the shell a little bit. Trying to create a lot more higher and more sustained attacks up the pitch. And obviously it's a cliche when you say you want to be a possession-based team and you want to create so many opportunities by maintaining the ball. But I think sometimes it's how can we maintain the ball? But actually the aim of the game is to score more than the opposition. And then off the ball is I'm probably a little bit old school in that way, which I think's maybe gone from the game, if I'm honest. A little bit more combative, a little bit more rugged and aggressive, and being a team that no one wants to play against, getting to people's feet, getting up close, being aggressive, being hard to play against. And maybe it's gone a little bit away from that, a little bit more flashy defensively. And I want to get the team being a little bit more robust.
Yeah, well, we're seeing that, I think, as well. And I think something that we would like to see a little bit more of as well, being hard to play against, and that kind of edge to your team too. Can we go back to kind of where it started for you, Martin? I mean, we know your journey from being at Brann and then obviously Man United as well. But where did it all start, being a coach?
Started at Everton in the boys' academy and learnt my roots there through some really good coaches who I was fortunate enough to work with who've been in the game before, and they give me a really good grounding, if I'm honest. And then had the opportunity to work with the women's team with Andy Spence, which was very good as a really young assistant, and then moved on to Liverpool as a technical director of the women's setup and just tried to evolve and bring that closer to the whole club as a whole. And then moved on to Manchester United with Casey, where I had a wonderful time working with her as a really top player, but also a top manager, and learned so much about leadership and kind of behaviours. And then worked alongside Mark for 2 years, where we had some success with being in the FA Cup final, getting in the Champions League. And as you do, you get kind of a feel for wanting to manage when you've been an assistant for 12 years nearly, I think it was. So when you've done that for so long, you get a feel for management. And it was around probably early 2023 when Brann approached my agent and asked would I be interested, which was a shock to me at first because I didn't expect it. But maybe some of the players we were working with at Manchester United had spoke well about me to the club they play for over there, and they were in a bit of transition, and it was a project that really fitted with me as a coach to build, redevelop, and make sure that we could make a team successful over a short period of time. And hopefully I played a part in that. And then they went and won the league this December just gone. They won the league. I left in July, and hopefully I put them in a place to be able to do that. And now I've come to Tottenham, and I'm really enjoying it. I think management is totally different to just being an assistant. You're now the person at the end of it who holds accountability. Also, I kind of thrive off that accountability of me having to make big decisions. And then also the coaching side is something I'm really passionate about, of the development of players, the development of the team. And we're in a good space now, but we're 15-20% of the way there where we need to be. And we keep reminding the players not to get carried away, but to enjoy the moments when we do win.
How did you find it, Marty, going to Bergen, being in Norway, and then being a first-time manager? Everything was kind of on you. How did you find that, or did you go, this is a bit of me?
Yeah, it was difficult. If I'm honest with you, it was difficult. I'm not going to lie. I think you go into management, and maybe as an assistant, you stand back first and you think, I could probably do this, but you actually don't know what goes into management until you're actually in it. The meetings, the player meetings you have, the board, the wider infrastructure and staff and team you have to operate with, and you're kind of the person they're always looking to for motivation, inspiration, education. And then you're the one in front of the media when you don't win, and you've got to be able to answer. It was difficult at first. I think I found my feet quite quickly in it because I had to. I didn't really have much time to really adapt. We got into the Champions League, we got into the group stage, we then got into the knockouts of the quarter-final against Barcelona. So I had to have a really quick grounding. But I learned so much about myself as a person and as a coach, how I wanted to lead, what was the ways I didn't like when I was playing compared to what the way the game's gone now, what I wanted to give back to players, not losing my passion and my desire for doing my job, because I think if I lose my passion, I probably lose half myself as a coach and a manager. But trying to also refrain that at times and be more supportive on another side personally. So I learned a lot in Bergen, but I learned a lot about different football culture, Ruesha. When you're in England and you've been accustomed to it for years, when you're in England, you only know one way of doing something. And going to Norway opened my eyes up to a totally different culture. It was direct football, playing second ball, playing for set plays. It felt like you'd gone back maybe 10 years to football where it was long throws, put the ball in the box. And I learned so much about maybe I can't always be aggressive on the front foot defensively. Maybe we have to find ways of defending a little bit more, if you want to call it old school, and having better game craft. And then with the ball, it taught me a lot because we were able to try and be flexible, and I was able to implement things that I wanted and the club wanted. And then I've hopefully supported some of the development of those players who've now moved on to European clubs, and obviously Signa's now come to Tottenham.
Yeah. It's a small world, isn't it, women's football, Martin? Can you remember the name of Brann before it became Brann?
Yes, Sandviken.
And do you know who was the top scorer in the 2012-2013 season, Martin?
Yeah. I used to be a centre forward.
It was Ruesha Littlejohn!
I was a centre forward back in the day, and then I've been shafted back the pitch. I don't know why. Everyone wants fast centre forwards. I'm like, they can't even score goals. Put me up there. And I was slightly rounder back then, Martin. Nobody could get round me, so I just pinned defenders for fun. But anyway, back in the day.
I didn't even know you played in Norway. Yeah. That's
back, over 10 years ago, I'd say, over 10 years ago.
It was,
I loved Bergen. Beautiful place, lovely people, yeah.
Oh, unbelievable. It was probably, I'm glad I had that experience now. It gave me so much more independence. Yeah. The people, the lifestyle day to day was so relaxed and calm. I didn't worry about walking out my house in the evening at 10 p.m. for a walk. Yeah. I'm wondering if someone was going to put a bag over my head and rob me. And whereas now I kind of think, do you know what, if I didn't have that experience, it wouldn't have shaped me where I am now. And I have some wonderful friends still in Bergen, the staff who I work with, people who looked after me when I got there. And they're so supportive, so personable. And that'll be a place I definitely go back to and visit a lot. But Sandviken was very, very successful under Alexander Strauss before it went to Brann. And no, that's impressive. I didn't know you played at Brann.
Yeah, back in the day.
I remember we all went to visit her. Me and mother sister went to visit her for one weekend, and it didn't stop raining. It was worse than Glasgow, but it was a beautiful place. Everybody looked like a model. They were all stunning, and it was about £15 for a pint of cider.
Yeah, it's expensive. That's one thing I definitely don't miss, how expensive it was.
Pricey.
The grocery shop was expensive, but also, like you just said, I think they nearly broke the record for rain by one day. I think they missed out on a world record for it. So, it's a place that I will never complain of cold in England ever again after being there.
It was absolutely sharpened, to be fair. Beautiful place. So where you are now then, Martin, I mean, the club's going strong. Looking at the league table, you're doing really well. I take it Champions League football's in your head? Yeah,
you probably know the answer I'm going to give you, but you always have an eye for that. I'm not coming into this league. I don't want to come in and just take part. I think anyone that knows me, I want to win, and I don't always believe it's, finances can separate you, quality of player and capacity can separate you, but I don't believe you can separate heart, desire, passion, togetherness, and then actually the coaching element. I believe you can really advance players. And if we're looking at that, I won't look any further. If someone said, what do you want to do? I'd say I want to win the league. I don't want to just sit here and take part. And if we can push ourselves now, and the thing in this league, you've got to maintain a consistency for long periods in games, and enable that to be momentum taking you forward. And if we do that, I believe we can put ourselves in a good position to maybe ruffle some feathers at that top end of the table a little bit. And I think all we have to do is focus on us and not get caught up in maybe the talks of Champions League and European football. And if we just do what we've done and go about our business quietly, which I think we have done, we've allowed our performances to kind of do the talking for us. We'll put ourselves in a position where maybe we're in the hat to talk about that maybe 3 or 4 games out.
Amazing. How do you find it, Marty? Now, obviously, you're the manager now. You've had the experience at Braun, now you're at Spurs, and having difficult conversations with players. Obviously, we've seen Ash Neville go to Leicester now. Unfortunate day for her, scoring an own goal. That's football.
She's always Spurs. She's always Spurs.
Maybe it was always on the cards. Maybe it's part of the plans, that. But how do you find that as a manager now? You're the guy that has to make the hard decisions and the tough decisions for people.
Yeah, I think that's something you never relish as a coach and a manager to do that, Ruesha. You never want to kind of disappoint someone or frustrate someone or put someone in a position where maybe they're no longer at the club or they're not going to start in the 11. And I always say the players I put in the starting 11 will always be the ones who are happy. The ones who aren't probably will have a moment where they're not. But as long as they respect my decision, that's the most important. And then you will have players who move on from the club, and you have to. The sacrifice of evolving as a club is players become a sacrifice of that at times. And I always say to the players when I have those conversations, it's nothing personal. It's just professional decisions that I have to make, and I will get some right and I will get some wrong. I'm human, and but what I have to do is make decisions that I feel are right for the club now, short term and medium term, but also the long term sustainability of the team. Because what I don't want to do, I'd never want to walk away from a club and leave it in a worse position than when I got it, but also not allow it to be successful over a longer period. And those conversations are difficult, but I think the biggest thing I try to give is I try to be clear, concise, and give a lot of clarity, and just be honest. And I think that's all the players want. They want honesty from you. And I always say to the players, if you come and knock on my door, I'll give you an honest opinion. If you want honesty, you need to be prepared to listen to it. And maybe that's part of me as a coach, just in general, is I'm direct. There's no grey area. It's straight black or white, and I kind of give it as it is. And I'm happy having those conversations. Because in my head, I have a lot of I'm very clear in my conscience that I know what I need to do for this club to be successful. And if I have to make some difficult decisions, I have to make them. But I always allude to the players. It's not for just me personally. It's for the club as a professional standpoint. And these decisions are professional, not personal.
And I guess with the professionalism coming into it as well, in terms of the January window, in terms of being backed, you're in a good position, like you say, to maybe ruffle a few feathers, which there'll be a number of teams now looking over their shoulder going, hold on a minute, not so Spurs anymore. Things are really seeming to change.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we've tried to do a little bit is try to put ourselves in a position where we can be a little bit harder to beat, but still evolve the identity off the ball. As I said, I want to have a bit more game craft with what we do and be a bit more offensive with the ball. And if we can in this window now, like we have done, we've brought in 4 players, and they're players I feel will help us now and in the future, and will give us a really strong core moving forward. And that's just an evolvement of the club, of the team, of the playing style that we needed. And if we continue to add quality players in each window, and getting a balance, by the way, of youth and experience, not just taking away older players when they get into the back end of their careers, is making sure that, we'll look at Drew Spence. She's just been given a new contract because of what she brings to this team on the pitch, off the pitch, and what she's still capable of doing. And Drew's a prime example of a player who age is just a number, and she just performs at a really high level consistently. And I'm a big believer in that in terms of age is the number. If players are performing to a high level, no matter what their age is, I love working with them, because actually Drew's probably the pioneer of probably a lot of women's football, having 200 appearances, and she still comes and wants to learn, still wants to develop, still wants to be better. I need to get a balance between the experience and the youth within the team, because I believe a correlation of that together will enable you to have success down the road. Yeah,
absolutely. I think we're seeing that now in the modern day game. I think some clubs won't even touch players that are 28 years old. It's kind of like it's a business now, but I do think there is a part, especially being Spurs and you're pushing and growing, you need experience. So I think Drew is being about the block, great player, still going strong. So it's really good to hear that.
That you value that.
It's really good, yeah.
You've got the Neildon sisters as well. How is it managing sisters? Do you want a couple more?
No, age is too big.
Oh my God, he's just come for us. He's come for us. Martin, enjoy your day off in Liverpool. You just seen family, seen friends?
Yeah, seeing my family. Mum and dad are not great at the moment with some illness, so back here trying to support them when I can on days off. The journey down the motorway is long, but when you're going to support family, you do it anyway, so it's good. I'm all good.
Oh, God bless you. Thanks so much for taking the time to then see us today.
No
We
problem.
appreciate it. Take care. Have a good one.
Take care.
Cheers.
Have a good day. Take care. Bye.
All the best, Martin Ho there, Spurs manager. Oh, fair play to him, taking the time to do that when he's up seeing his folks. The juggle, eh? The juggle of having poorly parents.
Really, I remember being, obviously playing football, and you see Martin being an assistant, and he's very vocal, knows what he wants. So there's no surprises that he's now the manager and he's doing well. I think he's got a very clear way of how he wants to play. So yeah, good luck to him.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. Do you think they can make Champions League football this season?
Never say never, but I think this, obviously the second half of the season is massive and they'll have to pick up points along the way, but it's tough. But yeah, I do think we go back to like the London City argument. People are saying they could push and I'm not having it.
Well, they're not. They goalless draw against Liverpool. Maestra in his first game, Michelle Canning will be going, not good enough.
Yeah, you get the tic-tac, son. But I think he said that in his interview. He kind of didn't recognise his team from the team, what he's seen in training throughout the weeks. So, yeah, interesting. But look, it takes time. It can take time, and especially with how he's going to want to play. It's not a quick fix. It's not an overnight success. So.
I really enjoyed that chat.
Yeah, it was good.
I
Good
really
chat.
did.